I'd like to welcome Melanie Villapando here to the TA Leaders Series, sponsored by SparcStart. And we'd love to kind of introduce her as the head of talent acquisition at Eurovant Sciences. And we have a couple questions for you around video. And I will begin when you are ready, and love to keep this conversational. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about yourself as an intro for our listeners to know?
Yeah, thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. Really, no, I've just been doing talent acquisition for over 25 years and across a variety of industries, most last 10 years or so life sciences, but before that, consumer product goods and a few others. So been happy to be in this profession.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here. And so what is the best way that you've created video for your organizations, and what was the content and why was that important? I know it's kind of a two-part question, but I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, the best way that we did video, actually tried to do it years ago in the early 2000s, had some videos of people and recording them as testimonials, like much is common today, but did it there with each of the leaders and had like a microsite and recorded that. That was, again, to try to get to know the hiring manager is the key that I get to, because people really want to know who they're going to be working with and what they're going to be doing. And then over time, I also use Spark. And really love that because of the simplicity of it. So we've moved away from that real corporate feel into a more authentic, what's the actual hiring manager doing in the day? There's their own speak. What are they doing day to day? And what's the job going to be? And again, I think that really helps people feel a connection or not to that role and create more interest.
Absolutely. And do you feel like that maybe that's the only competitive advantage around video, or do you feel like there are other advantages to using video?
Yeah, I do. No, I do think that we could expand on it more. I think something a day in the life would be really helpful. Brief and a little bit more cinematic, I think people would really enjoy. But what's the day-to-day life of the role? Because that's often the question that people want to know. And when you're recruiting and you're talking about the role, it's all the wonderful aspects of it, but sometimes people like to know the challenges too, and those can be energizing as well.
Absolutely. And how do you know video works? You've talked about being able to meet your boss, anything like that. Have you seen data around that? And like, what information do you have that supports kind of what you're saying, which we believe in also, but what kind of data do you have around that?
Yeah, I mean, that's how people consume their information these days. It's in little short blurbs of video. People can get more from the context of the video. It's faster for them to listen or see on the go.
Awesome. And kind of compounding on that is, what do you feel organizations are missing if they don't use video?
I think they're missing that authentic touch. I mean, I hear from candidates all the time. I couldn't really tell who was who if you took the name off. Everyone's kind of having the same corporate speak. And the video really gets to who the person is and what they're all about. You can tell about the passion and their interests and their voice and the topics that they go from, areas that they focus on. It just gives you greater insight into the person overall.
Awesome. And being someone that's used video before, how do you feel it makes the recruiting process more efficient?
It's more efficient because people select out as well as in. So I'm always looking for ways that we can help not just promote it for an ad, because it's not a sales product. It's a match between a candidate for their career and the company for talent coming into the organization. So it's critical for both sides that they really understand what it is and they opt in the right situations.
Awesome. Speaking of opt-in, this is, I guess, kind of internally. How do you decide who should make the video, and why? What do you do if they're hesitant, if there's someone that you want to make a video that it's not?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've encouraged at a former company that I worked with, we had a lot of R&D leaders who did not want to do the video, and then those that tried to do it, it was not a good reflection of who they are in person because they were so nervous and it wasn't natural for them. So I think it's the best way to do it, kind of like what we're doing today, is just to have a conversation and ask questions and kind of go back and pull out the key pieces that should be going forward. And that creates more confidence for them going forward when they see they actually can do it.
Yeah. And, obviously we've been touching on video, and we all know there's different kinds of videos. So you have informal video, employee generated video versus professional video. Do you feel there is a mix between the two? Do you feel like it's one way? Like, I'd love to hear your thoughts on I guess those three different types of video.
Yeah, I think the corporate is still fine if it's a global company and you need to get a fast piece of data across about the company and just the mission. I think that can go with it. The employee testimonials, I think, are really good when you can get them to be, again, sincere, and it's something out of the norm that they don't ordinarily hear on. So not every employee testimonial is saying the corporate speak. It's really good when they say, I struggled with this, but someone helped me to learn it. Or I was at another employer and I came to this one, and employee engagement and appreciation is, over the top. And here are some examples. So I think things like that really help. We had done that at a previous company too, answered benefit questions, had it in different categories of areas of people of interest. But the whole point is to get back into telling the story of the company and then helping the candidate make the connection as to how that can grow and add on to their career interests.
Awesome. And, you touched on the corporate speak. So what are some of the best ways to utilize video in supporting your EVP?
Let's see. Well, it's staying true to the mission of it. So I think that's a key. Again, back to other employers that I've had. One I had a few years ago, the mission was very, and the vision sharing with the candidates was very straightforward. It was smart, driven, and real. So showing that video that reflected actually what we meant by smart, and a lot of PhD people, a lot of people being innovative, new creations, and then real is it was a company that said what it thought for people. Criticisms, speak your mind, all of those things were very much welcomed and brought forward. So I think it can help show what you mean by your mission and your vision, and that it actually is coming to life within your organization.
No, that's great. And you touched on it, like coming to life, and aspects of that do you see a difference in the effectiveness, of utilizing video for your employer branding and only using text along with that, or the other way around?
I think they need to be both. In fact, I'm seeing more and more where the actual, instead of like a job posting with so much text that, it's like instructions to put together your vacuum cleaner. People don't really read it. Just getting the ad postings to move to be more of an advertisement, but still truthful. And like I said, a day in the life reflection of it. I think that's good, but I am seeing more and more that looks like a brief ad. It's much more content visually filled, and video is definitely a part of that.
Well, that's great. And I have one last question for you. You being an early adopter of video, it sounds like, what is the most out of the box way you have brought video into an organization? You don't have to name an organization or anything like that. And do you see other ways in the future where people should be using video that you don't see them today?
A couple out of the box ways. One was back to that, talking about a day in the life. So we did have a sales rep kind of showing, not like a GoPro, but something like that, like showing them getting up, putting their shoes on, getting dressed, and going out. And so, took snippets of that. That was really good. It turned out to be interesting and attention grabbing, as well as humorous in some places too. Others have been just back to the hiring manager saying, here's the job I have in plain speak in 5 sentences. I think that's made more a difference than anything.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Melanie. Again, this is the TA Leader Series, and Melanie Villapando from Your Advanced Sciences. So thank you so much for agreeing to be on this with us.
Thank you. You're welcome.